Hey guys, this is Brian, and this week I just wanted to do a little bit of like a weekend thoughts kind of thing again, like last time. This time I want to talk about mediocrity and the status quo, people who are okay with stagnation. And I'm not doing it to shame people who are complacent with their lives, but I want to kind of highlight some of the things that I've seen around me, things I noticed, and you know, looking back on the past couple of years, like where people end up, just in my experience. So, on the topic of mediocrity, it just comes down to the fact that a couple of different times there have been friends in real life or family members who I felt weren't where they wanted to be in life. And I kind of extended that olive branch towards them. And I went out of my way to, because I care about them, to say, hey, like this is something I could help you develop, something that takes time, but ultimately will set you on that financial freedom path, or financial confidence is a better way to say it. Because, we're ultimately maybe never going to be financially free unless you make a crap ton of money real quick and you're smart with it. But generally, it's just about that confidence that you can come in, repeat a process. Um, it could take you really far, especially given how difficult it is to kind of subject yourself to working for something that you don't really have any passion for. And yeah, so I basically spent a lot of time encouraging them, pointing out like how things could change for them, and identifying how the situation they're in now is unfortunate, but there's a way out. And I think what really scares people is that the way out is not uh, it's not sexy. It's like I'm not going to promise you that it won't take a couple of years. I'm not going to promise that you won't have to sacrifice things that you enjoy doing in life. Like you might have to cut out some habits or some things that you do on the daily. You might have to spend less time with your friends or with your family, but ultimately, what is that in service to? And I noticed that the type of people who kind of want and get far in trading in particular are the people who have it in their mind, at least initially, that they want to kind of be the best. Like they want to, well, not to be the best out of everyone, but maybe to be the best version of themselves. And so they constantly strive towards that. And I think that's a kind of more of a rare quality than I imagined. I oftentimes think that, like, people think the way that I thought, because why would you want to be in the situation you are now when it doesn't really make you happy, and it's stressful and it's difficult? Like, wouldn't you want to be somewhere else? Wouldn't you want to be in a different situation? And I think, yeah, a lot of those traders, they want to be somewhere else, and they see a vision for themselves that's kind of a couple of years down the line, or at least they can kind of imagine like what outcome they want, and it's very ambitious. And so yeah, I think it's just a real shame that not everybody has the motivation to do so. And I think part of that is that I'm not as outward about success than a lot of people. Like I don't really share P&L. I don't talk about what I do unless someone asks. And a lot of times, even when they do ask, like it just kind of flies over their head. Even if I would give them, basically, I would simplify it down to the point where they could understand it and that they could actually use it, practical. So yeah, to me that's a big shame. And uh, I hope that people take advantage of the information, um, and dig deeper. Like not everybody goes back and looks at the content or goes back and reads the comments. And I've, I have like a lot of my own kind of accomplishments that I just keep to myself. And I think because of that, it leads towards people kind of underestimating. Um, and I think that's a shame because it the reality of the situation, it's true that like you can have like a major level of success and you can know someone who's successful. I think maybe it's because people, they don't know anyone who's successful, so they don't really know or expect that, and especially if it's not like in their face. But yeah, I have kind of a person that I've been helping here and there, and I'm not going to do it again, so don't ask. But we've pretty much developed a relationship where I kind of mentored him, and yeah, he's like he's over seven figures already. So um, that is something that I feel like people don't really understand, and um, at the same time, like I don't necessarily want to attract that audience, but just be aware that uh, mediocrity is all around you, and if you want to kind of rise to the occasion, you have to put in the work, sacrifice, reach out, and get curious. And those people who do it, generally they find their success, and you have to kind of like figure out who and where you're getting your information, whether or not they're credible. And I guess the only way to really know is to interact with them and get that information for yourself. Um, yeah, I hope that people recognize in themselves that if you want to find any level of success um, above the ordinary, you're going to have to put in extraordinary effort. And in order to do that, when someone hands you an olive branch, that you don't kind of disrespect that and you take advantage of it. Because in life, opportunities, there's plenty of opportunities for you. And there are doors that you open and doors that you close. And opening a door is just simply saying yes. So you say yes, and what happens if you fail? If you fail, then at least you tried, and it kind of branches out and there's different paths that you can take from there. But if you say no, sometimes that door permanently closes on you, and you might not be able to you might not know that your life could have changed significantly from that point forward. So I think it's worth taking the risk. And one thing that I kind of want to end it on is just like a little anecdote recently, is that one of my friends, he's always been investing and trading, and he's a young guy, so he was in college, and when he graduated, he wanted to kind of go out and start trading. And he was trading during college, but he wanted to give it his full effort. And he moved to another state to just do a normal job. He was doing sales, and he wasn't loving it. And he kind of talked with me about, what if I went and tried trading seriously. And he landed a job or an internship at a prop firm, and he's leaving his job, he's moving. He had a cushy situation, but he's young and he's going for it, and he loves trading. And so I told him, he said, "Hey Brian, isn't it it's a really big risk. I'm really anxious about this." And I told him that actually the biggest risk that you would take is by not taking the opportunity, because this is an occupation where it can exceed every expectation that you have for yourself, and every kind of, the outcome of this. If you succeed, the risk reward is really high, if you want to put it that way. um, Infinitely better than where you are now. And taking that opportunity, taking that leap, is actually going to be one of the biggest decisions that he ever made. And I'd also say that the reason why he's able to make that decision versus someone else is because he's the kind of individual who will take a risk, who will jump at the opportunity, and who wants it. and not everybody wants it. So that's why not everybody gets where they want in life. And so, yeah, it's just my weekend thoughts, you guys. It's a little more somber, I guess, but that is the reality. And so I hope that you guys have a good weekend. You keep studying and everything like that, and that you know, one day I'll be able to record an interview with that guy I mentioned, and we can share his journey. I think that'd be really nice. So, all right, guys, take care.